Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. We are almost at the end of our first major perspective, functionalism. The last sociologist which we will study here is R.K. Merton. We have studied, my dear students, just to review three important sociologists within functionalism. We studied Emile Durkheim and T. Parsons, and thirdly, R.K. Merton. R.K. Merton, although is a functionalist sociologist, but he also made a criticism on functionalism. While remaining within functionalist perspective, he tried to refine and amend and answer to the larger criticisms on functionalism. So, in order to answer them, he criticized himself. But his criticism is like inner criticism from within a perspective. So, R.K. Merton is an American sociologist and perhaps student of T. Parsons, and he's famous for some other theories as well, like middle range theory, but that is not part of our discussion today. He criticized three major postulates of functionalism and offered an alternative to them. Right. So his first criticism is on what he called as postulate of functional unity. Right. It is in your handout. Postulate of functional unity. R.K. Merton says that functionalism assumes that each aspect of society, each part of society is functional for the whole of society, right? So he says that this is a big claim and this is a matter of investigation. This should be a matter of investigation. We cannot simply assume it at the outset, at the inception of analysis, that each part of society is functional for the whole of society. And he gives an example that there can be, it is possible that a thing is functional for in one way for one you can say institution or for one class of society, and it is not functional for the rest of society. और इसी तरह फिर वो ये कहता है कि to assume that whenever there is a change in one part of society or one institution of society, all the institutions would be affected by that change, as we discussed in the last analysis of T. Parsons, that whenever there is a change in adaptation, that economy, for example, the whole of the society moves and adapts itself to adjust to that change. So he also criticizes that this cannot be assumed. If it is there, it might be there, but it should be discussed after investigation, after empirical investigation. We cannot simply assume it. So he says that in a complex society, rather, the situation is that that institutions are pretty much autonomous, and it is not necessary that change in one institution would necessarily lead to changes in all the institutions, right? So he challenges this, the you can say, the way in which functionalism assumes that uh, functionalism basically stresses the interconnectivity of all the parts of society. He challenges that, right? So, second postulate to which he criticizes, so he replaces it with the idea of institutional autonomy of institutions, right? Although there is a relationship, but there is autonomy. So both things are together. So his picture is like that things are dependent. All the parts of society are dependent to one another, but at the same time they might be independent. So both things are present in the working of society. So we should see where they are dependent to one another and where they are independent. So we cannot simply assume that they are dependent. This is the position of R.K. Merton, and this is how he refines the functionalist perspective. Second postulate to which he criticizes and offers an amendment is that what he calls a postulate of indispensability, institutional indispensability. indispensable means that something is indispensable, it is inevitable, it is must, we cannot do without it. So whenever functionalist sociologists, functionalism stresses that certain institutional arrangements are a must, right? Because society has to fulfill certain needs. So सोसाइटी की कुछ नीड्स हैं, जैसे कि हम शुरू से डिस्कस करते आ रहे हैं, और उन नीड्स को सेटिस्फाई होना है, और उन नीड्स को सेटिस्फाई करने के लिए सोसाइटी की कुछ अरेंजमेंट्स हैं, सोसाइटी के कुछ इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं. दोज इंस्टीट्यूशंस आर मस्ट फॉर सोसाइटी, लाइक पॉलिटिक्स है या रिलीजन है या फैमिली है. सो दे आर इनएविटेबल. इंस्टीट्यूशनल अरेंजमेंट्स आर इनएविटेबल फॉर सोसाइटी. R.K. Merton again says that this is just an assumption. Even if we say, according to R.K. Merton, that these are the requirements of society, these are the needs of society, what we call as functional prerequisites. Even if we agree that these must be satisfied for society to exist, but from it does not follow logically or even empirically that only through these specific institutions which are at present we observe, only through these arrangements these needs can be satisfied, right? If society has certain needs, R.K. Merton says that it is possible that certain other arrangements might fulfill those needs, right? मतलब ये कोई जरूरी नहीं है कि मिसाल के तौर पे एजुकेशन एक नीड है तो उसके लिए हमारे ज़हनों में यही है कि स्कूल्स हों, कॉलेजेस हों, मिसाल के तौर पे इन्हीं के थ्रू वो नीड जो है सेटिस्फाई हो सकता है आगे चल के. अब जैसे ऑनलाइन स्कूलिंग शुरू हो रही है तो घरों में ही लोग पढ़ाना शुरू कर दें अपने बच्चों को, होम स्कूलिंग आ सकती है. सो होम स्कूलिंग जो है दैट कैन बी एन अल्टरनेट टू एग्जिस्टिंग स्ट्रक्चर्स ऑफ एजुकेशन, राइट? या इसी तरह उसके ख्याल में फैमिली की भी हो सकती है, वो अल्टरनेट इंस्टीट्यूशन बन जाए. रिलीजन जो है हो सकता है साइकोथेरेपी जो है वो, या मे बी कोई और फॉर्म्स जो हैं साइंस की ऐसी चीज़ें जो मे बी दे बिकम एन अल्टरनेट टू स्पिरिचुअल एक्सपीरियंस. सो उसके ख्याल में जो स्पेसिफिक करंट अरेंजमेंट्स हैं, इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं, वो इनएविटेबल नहीं है. देयर कैन बी others, there can be functional equivalents. He gave the idea of functional equivalents or functional alternatives. So ऐसे institutions जो कि उन्हीं चीज़ों को सेटिस्फाई कर रहे हो जो कि सोसाइटी की है. तो ये उसका सेकंड पॉइंट है, institutional indispensability. His third point is about functional universalism. Functionalism assumes that everything which is part of the society historically, which is part of structure of society, it must be functional. That's why it exists. और जैसे मैं शुरू में डिस्कस किया था कि everything is functional, यानी even those things which are generally regarded as negative, even those things are assumed to be functional by functionalist sociologists. जैसे मिसाल के तौर पर डाउरी है, हमने कहा था जहेज जो है लोग क्रिटिसाइज भी करते हैं, but if it is part of society then it must be serving some purpose. तो R.K. Merton इसको भी चैलेंज करता है कि ये जरूरी नहीं है कि हर चीज़ फंक्शनल हो, और ये भी एज्यूम नहीं करना चाहिए, rather it is a matter of investigation. So he says that consequences तो हर चीज़ के होते हैं. So whatever is happening in society, it has served any norm, any value, any custom, any ritual, any institution. All these have certain consequences, right? Consequences. These consequences can be of three kinds according to R.K. Merton. So number one, functions. So functions जो हैं वो positive consequences हैं, right? अगर कोई चीज़ functional है तो हम कहते हैं कि this is good for social equilibrium, this is good for society. So functions are those consequences which support social equilibrium, right? On the other hand, there can be dysfunctions, D-Y-S, dysfunctions. So dysfunctions are those consequences which disturb social equilibrium, right? जो सोसाइटी के लिए नेगेटिव कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस हैं. और तीसरी चीज को वो कहते हैं नॉन फंक्शंस, राइट? नॉन फंक्शंस. नॉन फंक्शंस आर दोज कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस which do not have any important effect, any material effect on social equilibrium. राइट। तो मिसाल के तौर पे अगर कोई बंदा एफसी कॉलेज की बात करे, एफसी कॉलेज जो है उसके सिर्फ फंक्शंस हैं, क्या फंक्शंस उसके क्या होंगे एफसी कॉलेज के या किसी भी इदारे के, कि मिसाल के तौर पे वहाँ पे जो है हायर एजुकेशन की बात है, रिसर्च हो रही है, राइट। सो इट इज़ गुड फॉर द हायर एजुकेशन ऑफ पाकिस्तानी सोसाइटी, और एक कंट्रीब्यूशन है रिसर्च में, डेवलपमेंट में, राइट। दैट इज फंक्शंस ऑफ अ पर्टिकुलर इंस्टीट्यूशन। डिसफंक्शंस क्या हो सकते हैं? अगर किसी इंस्टीट्यूशन की फीसें बहुत ज़्यादा होनी शुरू हो जाए और उससे अपर क्लास को कैटर कर रहा है मिसाल के तौर पे, तो फिर कहा जा सकता है कि इसके डिसफंक्शंस हैं, कि इट इज़ basically creating inequality by its distribution of knowledge or education only in the upper classes. It is increasing the already existing inequality, structures of inequality in society, right? तो ये बात की जा सकती है। नॉन फंक्शन में हम कह सकते हैं कि मिसाल के तौर पे अगर कॉलेज इतना बड़ा हो गया, यूनिवर्सिटी इतनी बड़ी हो गई और बाहर ट्रैफिक ब्लॉक हो जाता है, या कोई लैंड के रेट बढ़ गए हैं, कुछ इस तरह की बात, कि जो एक कॉन्सिक्वेंस तो है, लेकिन या उसकी वजह से कोई इन्वायरमेंट वाला तो बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट होगा। सो कोई भी ऐसी चीज जो आपके ख्याल में इतनी इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, लेकिन अगेन ये रिलेटिव होगा कि कौन सी चीज आप डिक्लेयर करते हैं कि इतनी इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है कि उसको फिलहाल, हो सकता है कि किसी वक्त ट्रैफिक ब्लॉकेज जो है वो मेजर सोशल प्रॉब्लम बन जाए। तो बहरहाल कुछ ना कुछ उसके कॉन्सिक्वेंस, उनके कॉन्सिक्वेंस बहुत सारे हैं। सो यू कैन फाइंड within for example 10 consequences or 20 consequences that these are not very important, so you can place them in the category of non-functions according to Archimedes. So functions, dysfunctions and non-functions, so one cannot simply assume that everything is functional. One has to dig deeper and see functions, dysfunction and non-function. So this is how we define functionalism, right? Please read it. And we have just one lecture now on functionalism. We will discuss in the next lecture on the general critique on function. Thank you very much.